It's Sunday morning on CBS. Here again is Jane Pauley.
His is a tale based on a book whose author was first listed as anonymous. Maybe because back in 1818, stories written by young women wouldn't be taken seriously. But there's no question its very young author created a classic. Roxana Saberi has chapter and verse on Frankenstein.
We all know the tale
The crack of lightning,
of the mad scientist
an unholy creation.
and that unholy creation which became his undoing.
I will have revenge. Frankenstein!
Frankenstein's monster has taken many shapes over the years.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
But it first came to life 2 centuries ago on these pages written by a young woman barely 18 years old.
Here we have something that really gives us the genesis of the novel Frankenstein.
Mary Shelley's original manuscript is held at Oxford University's Bodleian Library in England, where Chris Fletcher is keeper of special collections.
From relatively modest beginnings of 500 copies of this in 1818 to what it's become now.
A classic.
Tells a really interesting story.
That story began 2 years earlier, when its author left England with her future husband, the poet Percy Bysshe Shelley. They joined fellow poet Lord Byron at this Swiss villa for what was supposed to be a pleasant holiday on the shores of Lake Geneva. How much has this place changed since Mary was here 200 years ago?
Well, not much at all. It's almost exactly as it was in Byron's day, down to the railings along the terrace.
While the villa is much the same, University of Geneva professor David Spur explains that summer was like none other.
An almost perpetual rain confines us principally to the house.
It wasn't just the perpetual rain, as Shelley wrote in her letters, but a freakish volcanic eruption in Asia that shrouded much of Europe in cold and darkness, setting the gloomy stage for a Gothic masterpiece.
Lord Byron suggested one night, we shall each write a ghost story. And so the results of that famous contest are known.
Are you saying if the weather had been fine that summer, we might not have a Frankenstein?
I think that's quite probable.
The storms figure heavily in Shelley's ghost story, which would become the novel Frankenstein, published in 1818. Her tale about a man-made monster turned murderer has been translated into dozens of languages and mutated into countless adaptations and spin-offs.
Hello, handsome!
Ranging from slapstick comedy
Oh, I just love success.
He's a credit to your genius, master.
to dramatic theater, a few comic books, even songs.
He did the monster mash.
Frankenstein has taken up a permanent place in popular culture. But this monster is often misunderstood. A lot of people think that Frankenstein is the name of the creature, of the monster, when in fact it's the name of his creator.
The creature himself does not have a name.
Another common misconception is that Frankenstein's monster is purely evil. But events marking the novel's bicentennial portray him as a lonely character, neglected by his creator.
So inside he might have beauty, but people don't give him a chance to show it.
Do you think they should?
Yeah.
We're going to talk Frankenstein.
At University College London, Professor Jack Stilgo says Frankenstein is still teaching us
about science, about responsibility. For example, as a researcher, is what you're doing ethical? Do you have responsibilities for the things that you create? Now there are real tools that are giving scientists the potential to enact potentially massive changes to life. Say, should we be editing the human genome? Right? Should we be trying to improve upon human nature? That's a question that we should all have a say in.
Enduring questions first posed by a young writer 200 years ago.
She is dealing with eternally relevant issues here and articulates them in such an innovative and fantastic way.
Should we read the novel in 2018?
Absolutely, now more than any other time.